and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And justice.
Jared, can you get a roll call?
Absolutely. Paul Seymour.
Here.
Andy Lyons. Here. Good. Tom, I haven't seen you. Tom Schneider. Mike Knoll.
Here.
David Staub.
Here.
So Jim Kittle is absent. Randy Tyler.
Yes.
Here. Greg McAdams. Jared Eubank
Here.
is present. Heather Shout.
Here.
All right. Chairman, one thing I would ask, Vice Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda just to talk about the election under the attorney report.
Sure, we'll get there in a second.
Okay.
Got the approval of minutes from the 6/18/2026 regular meeting. Anybody have anything on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Jared, what did you have for the
I
agenda?
just wanted to add one additional item, and that would be talk of the election, which will be happening in December.
I got one that I just want to mention. It's a memorandum of understanding, example that I got from the school system that I'd like to bring up.
Or do you want to put that under the Lawrenceburg levy?
And then, under, Lawrenceburg levy is where I got it written.
If there's not anything else, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda with the 2 additions.
Second. First by Andy, second by Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly claims and vouchers. Anybody have anything on that? Greg, did you have something?
No, I had a question, but I had figured it out.
Okay. If nobody else has anything, looking for a motion to approve the claims and vouchers. Do you have a second?
Yeah, I'll say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under new business, there's 236 East High Street property. We talked about that briefly last month. That's that vacant lot. I think we're just looking for, see if we want to go forward trying to buy that for accessibility. I talked to Paul earlier. He said we used that during the relief well rehab.
Yeah, the only reason why I think it'd be a good idea is because of access point. Because the work we did on them wells, you really can't get that vehicle up there on the railroad bank and then access them. And when we came in the last time, we still had to take down a fence to get to one of them. But I'd hate to see them build a house there and cut off that access to that area somewhat. That's just my opinion.
Who owns it?
Redevelopment.
Redevelopment.
I'll worry about
Yeah,
They've had it for sale for
forever.
18 months, 2 years maybe.
It's a very small lot.
Is that down where the little house used to be?
December 5.
It's right to the left of Slayback's house,
Okay, I know where it's at.
right there.
There's
Right
a transformer in the middle of the lot, ain't there?
Yes, there is.
You know what they're asking for? Have you checked it price wise?
I thought
Either 12 or 15.
15, pretty sure it's 15.
Would that transformer be in the way? Somewhere?
There's been 2 people that wanted that and had it bought until they knew we had an easement on it, the transformer, there's obstacles there. And then they backed out, didn't want it.
But would it hinder anything that we want to?
12 now.
No, we've been in there with that transformer being there.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's just go ahead and
I make
purchase it.
motion that we make them full price offer of their 12,000 for the lot.
Got a first by Mike, you have a second?
I
Anything to
guess
do with
my
that, Jack?
question
We okay
is,
with-
what if
are we
it's
okay with-
15?
Purchase, do we need to do anything?
Andy just
Okay.
looked it up, it's 12.
He said it's,
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
he said it's listed at 12.
Okay.
Maybe you ought to state that. How did you state it?
12.
Oh, okay, you did say 12. Okay, I thought you said for what they're asking. I didn't know.
Well,
That might
that,
be a misprint.
the 12,000
Okay.
that they're
Make a full
Listen.
price offer
Yeah,
of
that's right.
full
$12,000.
price offer of 12,000.
Okay. Did you get a second?
That's just my.
I don't have a
I'll
second.
second.
First by Mike, second by Greg. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Paul, is that something you're gonna take care of?
Well,
I
the
think
first
that's-
thing I want to explain, you know, we're pretty full. And I've been thinking about it for a couple of years. Me and the guys have talked about it before. And I think it's a good idea, but I've been out of the business so long, I have no idea what it would cost to build something, but all I want to do is build like a pole barn type building, very simple. I've talked to Mike and I've asked him to possibly, what I'd like to do is to get your approval to move forward with only getting a set of really simple blueprints that would work for us
Yeah, I
to
know.
bring to you guys so that it could possibly get us a permit if after we put this thing out for bid, we find out what it costs, it's reasonable, and if you guys would accept it. But I need something to put out for bid for these guys to get prices on. So I'm not asking you to build it yet, but I would like to have a set of plans, and if we would decide to build it, I want the plans good enough that we could turn them into the state and the building department to where we could get permits. And I've talked to Mike about it, I gave him a description and little drawing of what I had.
Should have received a proposal on
Did you get one?
it. We sent it in, yeah. Did you not get it?
I never, unless you sent it later today and I haven't.
No, it was last week.
Yeah, I never got it, Mike.
I missed where you want to go with this?
On side here?
At the end of the concrete. And it would be for, sometimes we get our grass seeds and fertilizers and we keep them outside, we don't have any room, and then every morning, we're moving things out and parking them so we can pull different things out. We're full. Years ago, when I first got here, we built some racks where we could put different pieces of equipment up on them, and we try to keep everything inside. We don't want our equipment really outside. So now the one thing I will say, no water, very basic electric in it. All I want to do is light it up so that we can go in it and see what we need. I only want outlets in it that'll take care of battery tenders. And the rest of it, concrete floor, and just a pole barn type building. I want to build as good a building as I can, but it's as reasonable as I can build it. So that's, any thoughts on it? You guys might not want to do it, that's the other thing.
You've got Heather.
Yeah. You good? Okay,
Does anybody's got any questions? Did you find it, Mike?
I did. We
you're
sent,
all right.
I can forward it to you, but the proposal, it was, I'll just summarize it. It was $2,850 for the civil engineering and documents, and civil engineering and 2850, architectural was 3500, structural 2500 for a total of 8850. And then there was an alternate for 2000 if you decided that you wanted electrical to be in the design. So the base was 8850, $8,850 for a set of
What
plans
size
per
is
permit.
it?
40 by 60.
Will that give you plenty of room to turn around, trailer, whatever,
Oh, yeah,
back here? Okay.
where we're sitting, we'd have plenty of room to do what we needed. We pull in and out. We just have one garage door on it, one entry door, walk-in entry door. Simple building, but I think useful. That's that. I mean, if it's kind of an exploration thing here, and if we decide not to do it and we do the plans, there are plans that can be relooked at in the future. I mean, if it becomes absolutely necessary that we build this, we could put these on the shelf if we need to and get them out at a later date. If we felt like we didn't have the funds to do it right now at this moment or something. But any questions you got, you can ask.
Mike, I just have one question. Do you have any clue or estimate how much it would cost to actually construct that 60 by 40?
I don't know if you had that in there.
I never asked you. They don't have that in
I
there.
don't know if we came up with the construction estimate. Let me look for a second.
50,000.
It's gonna be one that we're gonna have to, that's the other reason why I want the plans, because if we decide to do it, Jared, it's gonna have to be putting an ad and done everything to put out for requests for proposal.
Possibly, but I mean, it's, the 200,000 is kind of where everything gets rough. 50,000 to that 150 point where usually, so that's a question. It's a pole barn, so I could see construction.
I thought it was over 50 you had to do that, so
50 for work projects, you can actually call for quotes on that. So it makes it a little bit simpler.
I think we're gonna fall in for a quote.
You could,
But I'm out of touch, I haven't thought.
you could divide that up.
You're not allowed to buy the project.
Why couldn't you, do the concrete as separate?
Because there's a statute on it.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Tom.
Exactly that, we're not allowed to do that.
You want to do-
I think it'd be okay if we could see Mike's proposal in writing and then kick it around before we decide.
We did something similar over the water department years ago, and we built, it's just a lean-to, so it's open on one side, which isn't necessarily ideal, but we need more space over there now. They need more space over there now. And had we oriented that building a little better, it would have been easier for us to tie it to the other building, just fill in the middle. So think about that, or just think about adding on to this.
If we add on to this, we're taking away our area back and turnaround and stuff.
If you're adding concrete to the end of the building, why can't you add concrete to the end, just to get
Put
around?
your turn on there.
Well, that back there sits a little bit higher than what we are here.
A little bit.
And if we add on to this building, we're probably looking at a whole lot better building than what I'm thinking about. I mean, should we add a pole barn onto a building like this? Plus, we got the 3 garage doors on the back and the end of it. And I can think about it. We can,
Can we
look,
make,
I ain't in a hurry for this, so whatever, that's why I'm bringing it up. We can relook at this next month too.
maybe the
Something to consider.
construction committee can take a good peek at it?
And then I'll print off what you got and then we'll bring it back up next month.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know why, I should have followed up, I don't know why you didn't get it, but.
That's all right. Like I say, I'm not in a hurry. I just wanted to bring it up and get you all thinking about it and see if it might flow into it. But yeah, I can take a look at it. little bit better. Talk to the guys, I want to talk to them about possibility, but we also got the gas tanks behind there that we're dealing with. I'll bring it back, we'll revisit it at next month's meeting. Does anybody else have any comment on it, what, something they want me to look at? Now-
Construction committee can look at.
Now, the shape of this building, Andy, is gonna be like a lean-to, except we're gonna have a door and it's gonna be enclosed on the front. And I just figure 16-foot height on the front with a, I believe, a 12-foot height door. And then the back end, that's gonna have a 12-foot, and I'm gonna have flat truss, bar truss over, or wood. I don't know what they call
I'm with you. Just a single slope.
them exactly.
Front, back.
All right,
All right, just want to back up for a second. We kind of went right past that property into that pole barn. So do we want Jared to make a full price offer on this?
I
On
think
this,
that's what the motion.
Yeah. Well, do we want Jared to,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he should be.
all right,
I would recommend that you make that offer to the redevelopment in a meeting.
They have a realtor.
Huh?
They have a realtor.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
So
The
you
nice
make
thing
that
is,
offer?
the nice thing is their stipulations.
There are.
With their realtor, that if you buy the property, you have to build a single-family home on it that has
You're
a
gonna-
certain square footage.
The offer would just have to be exceptions to
Yeah, we just
their.
make an offer contingent upon it staying vacant.
And that's why I think that we should go to redevelopment at some point, because I don't know that the realtor is gonna vary from the requirements.
But they're not.
So I think
You
at
still want
some
to get, you
point,
still want to get an offer in case
Somebody else.
Is that
somebody else does.
through Low Miller?
Who's the actual agent? Is
I think it's Andy.
it Andy?
I believe it's Andy that has the listings.
Just tell him what's up, and then, you know, I mean, he's a good, and he knows what's going on, so I put him a call and just see, you know, ask him, like, hey, this is what we'll do, if you need anything you're going to offer, and then see if he'd be willing to either tell us to go to redevelopment, or.
But since the city put those conditions on it,
Just an offer.
okay, but I mean, are they in any liability if they sell it? Not under those conditions,
No,
and somebody else says, well, I would have bought it for that, but you didn't.
no, my mayor put a pavilion on a
Okay.
redevelopment lot and catches all kinds of hell for it, if you remember that, but, so they can do whatever they want, really.
Okay.
I mean, I guess my question would be is what are we gonna do if Andy says, no, the conditions are this?
Then Jared needs to go to redevelopment meeting.
Okay, that'd be second,
Yeah.
definitely.
On you, but
This is easy, man, this is the hardest thing I have to do.
All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow about it.
Done.
Heather, we make sure the minutes show that Jim joined the meeting. Okay.
No problem.
All right.
All right, JMT update, Berm.
Yeah, hey guys. I'll share my screen. Do y'all have the slides in front of you?
We did.
Yeah.
Okay. So, good news, I guess, I think. I think Paul and everybody would agree, but we haven't given you an update, but we were able to submit the break application on, I guess, yesterday. It finally was able to get in. We were able to work with IDHS and get through some hiccups with their system, and Heather and Paul kind of lived it more than I did, Jen Ray, from the JMT side of things, but we persevered through it and got everything in and submitted. And then IDHS sent us a note this morning at about 7:40 that said they received everything and they will transmit the application to FEMA. So Congrats. Big round of applause. Yeah. Paul, Heather, the whole team. It was certainly a team effort. So the slides basically just walk you through kind of that, where we are in the process. So the first slide there, current status, you know, we got the big star next to where it is now. It was transmitted, and IDHS has committed to us that they will submit to FEMA by the application deadline of next week, July 23rd. So that's where we are. Just to remind you all how much money we were looking for. Again, this was for engineering and permitting. So if you look where that red star is on the bottom right under 2028, that's how much we put in for, $5,997,500, just a hair under 6 million. Is what we had come up with. And again, those numbers might look a little smaller from what we had before because we stripped out some of the routine maintenance type items that were included in the original fee estimates, because for these mitigation projects, hazard mitigation projects under FEMA, they really just want to focus on those big capital improvement type projects. So that's why that number is a little bit smaller, but still a really good chunk of money that we're hopeful to be able to secure to move things forward. So looking at that on the next slide there, for the request, 6 million, which would require 75% federal match is what we're asking for, with the 25% local, which comes out to basically a 4-way split of about 375,000 from you guys, the city of Greendale, city of Lawrenceburg, and the county of Dearborn, which all of those entities have committed at least that much. So the game plan would be we use that 375 from each as the first bite of the apple to get through engineering, environmental, and permitting, and then when we get to shovel ready, then we put back in for that next phase of the grant to then use the rest of the match dollars, which is, you know, that overall 16 plus million that was committed locally for the 25% of the total.
Hey, Brian.
And yeah, question?
Yeah, you're pretty accurate, but that 4-way equal split on that amount, that's not accurate. Because the county, the max was what, 400
It was
plus.
410.
But he's saying,
10%.
I think he's saying to use their money for this, which that
Yes.
would be 4 equal matches. Cause that's all we would put in at that time,
For this 6 million.
For the first.
just
time.
for the first round. They're eventually gonna run out of money if this continues. Right?
Right, I'm with you.
I think that's what you're saying, isn't it, Bernie?
That's what I'm saying. We would split it 4 ways for this initial part, and then I know they only have another 35 or 40 grand on top of that they committed, and then we would put that towards the next
They're just gonna run out
grant
of
that we
money.
went for.
Well, yeah, but they're not gonna give us that much money for only a $6 million grant. I can tell you that right now, guys. They were pledging that $400,000 under the condition we came up with a $60 to $70 million grant. So they're not
Well,
gonna.
Okay, and so we don't have to get stuck in the minutia there. I mean, I
Okay.
think the overall gist is we have the 25%,
We've
and
got it.
then we'll figure out where that comes from when the grant is selected for
Okay.
award.
All right,
Okay, but yeah, I get what you're saying with that nuance, Paul.
okay,
If they wanna figure percentage wise, they can do that.
exactly.
And then it was a big application, 75 pages long. We did include additional comments. There were 47 attachments, so no small feat, but everything's in and ready to go for review and transmit to FEMA. So again, it was definitely a team effort and a lot of hard work and dedication out of Paul, Heather, and Jennifer and
Well,
others. And then, so where we are now, what's the next step? So July 23rd, it goes to FEMA, and then we're not really sure how long it's gonna take for FEMA to review all the applications and get back to us. But historically, it's been about 6 to 9 months between submission and notification of award. So I would say somewhere around the end of the year, beginning of 2027 is when we would hopefully start to get some information back on where things are.
The only thing I'd like to add to that is Berm, you can't say enough of how good a job, Jennifer and Heather done. Because me and Jimmy were pretty nervous the last week and a half, 2 weeks, because it just seemed like it wasn't gonna happen. So those two stepped up to the plate and did a really, really good job. Excellent job.
Good to hear.
That's kind of all I got for you.
That's good.
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 Thanks, Byron.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Berm.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Paul, you're up, superintendent's report.
Bring Michael up here first.
All right, gentlemen. So I am pleased to report that the floodgate weld repairs it's complete, and the inspection of them is complete. You do have Acuren's invoice as part of my submission that in your claims. I think it was in this. Okay. So you have that. I didn't get the information from DeBraw till after the deadline, so I'll be submitting that at the next meeting. But they're roughly, their total is roughly 24,000, just to give you a heads up on that. We have communicated with the Corps, with Neo Cash, to invite them, the Corps out to see if they wanted to review in person. They respectfully declined and said they'll just wait for the itemized report, which I'll be putting together. And we'll start on that tomorrow. Now I got some things off my desk, but I had just gotten the final piece of information from DeBraw. So I have Acuren's report, I have DeBraw's report. I'm gonna compile that information and we'll send it off to the Corps. And so that's almost entirely wrapped up. And by the way, all the repairs, Pat, like they didn't have to come back and re-repair anything. So, but they did find a few additional things while they were out there, so that was good too. So, the seepage drains, I'll kind of hit the seepage drain and the riprap project both together, the High Street riprap. Paul has the letter of no objection on both of those on his desk to sign, and then we're ready to send those drawings off to the Corps. So when Paul, I know Paul still wants to review the plans for the riprap, so I feel like that's pretty simple. Probably just take you a little bit of time to go through it. But the seepage drains, they're ready to hand off with that signed form there. So the US 50 gate closure, so he's submitting the application. It'll be in the next few days here. He'll get that off to NDOT. And we're looking at probably mid-September on that, because there is a 45-day period that you have to wait. That you can't perform any work within 45 days. I guess that's standard for all the review. We thought we were going to fall into the 20-day, but it is technically a road closure, but they do have some, how do I put this? They relax if it's under 8 hours, but we looked it up again, and even though we're under 8 hours, they're going to classify this as a full road closure, which it legitimately is. So it's a 45-day period. So I should have an actual date for you, and I'll get with you, Paul, when we send it in, and we can kind of discuss with, what works best for the crews and all that.
Now, do we have, the last time I did it for Greendale, we had a traffic thing that we turned into them.
Yeah, we'll have to do a full traffic plan.
Okay.
And of course, you got to notify the police, and the police will have to be there and be responsible for, part of the the detour and all that, so it's,
So my question is we're gonna have to reach out and find out who's gonna do that traffic, the setup of the signs and everything. Are we gonna have to reach out and get, there ain't too many of those people around. If I remember right, we hired A1 Safety, I believe.
yeah, there's enough that I think we can legitimately get three quotes on
Okay.
it, so.
And you still think that can be done before September?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, because once we get the data established, the very next thing is to start put those drawings together, because the NDOT has to approve all that as well. So we have to do that as part of the permit process, so then we'll have a set of plans that we can give to the traffic safety companies to give us a quote on.
Okay, I'm just sitting here thinking, if they say, okay, September 16th, right now, we're doing our July meeting, so the only other meeting we got's August. So we're gonna have to have the quotes in front of us by the August meeting before we can, that's all I'm thinking. Or if you guys are okay with it, we might need to call a meeting to make it happen.
Or I could push it to, a little later in September after your meeting. I mean, that gives you 3 meetings,
Well, just keep that in mind, that way it's in your thoughts.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Okay.
So is this just gonna be a closure, an inspection, and then pull it back, and then we'll go forward with repairs or whatever we need to do?
Yeah, this is,
Well, I don't look for the welding inspection to be much at all, but when we pull it back on that particular project, I think that's more on the rail, right?
correct. Yeah, so there'll be some evaluating going on, and we'll look at the welds on the backside. I mean, it's a chance to see them. At this point, we haven't talked about hiring a company to come out and test them. I mean, I don't think that's, so
I'd like
the
to-
Corps' not requiring that at this point, so.
I think we're done with the welding.
Yeah.
I'm sure we are.
So, I mean, if we'll do a visual look at it, and if we see something that, we feel needs to be corrected, we can have some people, there to do that work, or maybe it could just be needing a little coating or something, you just never know when you're gonna see it, but, that's kind of the plan. The plan is this is to satisfy the goal that you've operated your closure, for the Corps.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
How about, Mike, how about the drains? We're just waiting, right? Did you mention that? Underneath MDPI?
Well, I've got one of those letter of no objections for that, so we can send
Okay,
the revised plans off to them,
okay,
and then it's fully in their hands at that point.
thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's go to John.
Hey,
Well, now we're gonna see how you do, John, because Luke's been doing a pretty good job. You got a lot to live up to here.
I'm a little frightened to be able to fill his big shoes, but good to see you all. Hi, Paul. Well, I'll go through this quickly. We've got a few things to talk about. We got the inspection, our emergency planning, and our just kind of general updates. This week, we had a 2-day self-guided inspection that was completed. It was the first time we've done that because, as you remember, the Corps no longer is completing these annual inspections, and so we're kind of taking that on as the responsibility to make sure we're documenting the condition of the levee and fill in information so that when the Corps does inspect, they have all that information. And so we use the Corps' levee inspection app. I think we're maybe some of the first to do that nationally. And that app allows us to document our whole inspection. And so this first time through, we had to kind of set up the template, what we were going to do every year for future inspections. And this was a great experience, I think, for, for our crew and the LCD guys, where we all got our eyes on the levee at the same time. And it also shows the Corps that we're kind of leading the charge and leading the way. And so the good thing it also does is allows us to document what we've done in the last 1 to 2 years within the inspection documentation. It shows that, we're kind of paying attention to things that they might have pointed out in the previous inspection that they had, and then we're tracking them. For example, they may see something that looks a little funny and they're wondering if something's going to get worse or not. So this allows us to kind of, show that, no, things are stable, or, we have something we need to address. And so it also allows us to kind of show what we did to respond to a couple of their questions in their last inspection. So I think it was really good. There are a couple of things also. Occasionally they have comments on their inspection that's based on maybe something a little faulty understanding. So it allows us to kind of put in that information and clarify things if they had been not understanding what was going on. So again, a really good time for inspection, and it gets us set up to this becomes part of our protocol every year. And next year it won't be exactly the same. We may focus on, something a little more carefully, like the pump stations, and go through a little more rigorously every little bit. But it was a good experience. Paul, I don't know what your guys said, but Luke and Rondell were very happy with it.
Well, Luke and Rondell did a good job, because my guys, they were having, and I suspect Luke and Rondell were having their small issues too, but until you actually do it and start using it, you learn a lot. And I could tell, I was sitting back watching, and my guys were interested in it. Luke and Rondell were very patient. A lot of questions were asked. I thought they did a really good job. We spent a day and a half, most of 2 days. So it was a good 2 days though. So
Yeah. The other thing, I guess, just to clarify, is that nothing we find is going to impact, the PL 8499 status or anything. It's just really, they're going to be using our information as reference when we come through. And the good thing also too is we're out there every year with this. If we see something before they even notice it, we can kind of look at it and even address it, so that when they do their 5-year, they'll see that we've already taken care of some things. So anyway, I think a real good kind of thing to put into our program and begin that. So I was very happy. Just real quick, and you can mention this too, Paul, our memorandum of understanding for our emergency action plan. I think we kind of made some edits on that, and you've begun kind of contacting the individual entities. I think you've already talked to the school, am I right?
you're right. They all got that example in their packet. They might not know yet what this is being done for, so you can explain that.
Well, this really, until we did this, this was to make a kind of a more formal statement on the kind of things that need to happen, so that when we do have the high water event, everybody knows and understands what's going to happen. For example, within that MOU, we have set kind of action levels. When, here's the action level when we first say, hey, things are getting serious, pay attention, kind of a warning, not even a warning, an awareness kind of thing. And then when the elevation gets higher, you go into a little more responsive, incorporating your own plans. This also pushes them to think about their own plan, not just LCD is not giving them their plan. We're kind of saying your plan needs to have and be ready to respond to these different action levels. So yeah, it's a formality, but I think it sets us up in the future for when we want to have, for example, a more, in the future, I can see a dry run, for example. Here we're going to have an actual exercise they're gonna know what this is. They're not gonna start from scratch. So I think it's something that we just make every one of the entities we have this MOU with aware of, we do have to think about where our people are gonna go, when they're gonna go, and help them kind of think through that so that we're not just responding the day of. So yeah, I think it's a really good idea. And I think the other thing we've done is so there's a standard format for most of the entities, but we're developing a format for the MOU with the city. And we still have that under review, but it's a little more comprehensive, you might say. Might have, information about when we start needing to communicate to the community and that sort of thing. So I think we're going to be finishing that kind of review early next week, and then we can take that out to the city. So, this is part of our program. It's that awareness, how we're going to respond, and this is just the first leg of that, I think.
The one thing that really brought this on was when we had our meetings, when they were doing this risk analysis, the Corps had people from all over the country that weren't really familiar with our situation here. So the one thing I noticed is they had, pretty high death count. And they were considering the school system, when the water's 12 feet up on the floodgate, they were thinking, well, hell, people are gonna be in that school. What's gonna happen if the gates break? So that's when I came up with the idea of, hey, I need to go talk to people, and we need to insert this, because the one thing we learned was they evaluated that off of our emergency action plan. And in that plan, we never really stated exactly, hey, there ain't nobody gonna be in that school. They're gonna be doing e-learning. So I've talked to Carl, I've got that agreement, and other places we're gonna talk to too, and we're gonna insert these agreements in that emergency action plan so that when these people are doing our risk analysis, they'll see that. And that's why we decided to do this. Now, as far as Lawrenceburg goes, we've also got verbal agreements, and Brad's willing to come help, the utilities are willing to come help, but I do not have a thing in writing. So they want to see it. So that's what we're shooting for, to do a few inserts in that emergency action plan.
Yeah. All good things, all good discussions. And again, long-term at some point, I think we're heading at some time in the future, once we get these in place, is to have actually scheduling a drill to test out our community engagement to see how that might go. But that's not soon, but it's down the road just a bit. So the other thing we're doing, this is being incorporated into our O&M plan as well, because these action levels, certain things happen when we reach the different levels of the water kind of lapping up on the levee. So this is all coordinated with the updated O&M plan and with these the individual plans these entities are going to have. So all good stuff. Really just an update on this Durbin development review. We've had 2 meetings with them to discuss, their development, their specifications and their plans. Part of our role in this sometimes is just to make their design team aware of what they're facing. In this case, where they have this development, is in a situation where we're going to have excess uplift pressures during the high water events. And so one of the things we made very clear to their structural engineers and their civils is these are the kind of pressures you're going to have to withstand. Mundell's not telling you how to do it. They're telling you these are the conditions you're going to face, and we expect that to be part of your design. So we haven't heard back from them. We had this other meeting. We thought we were going to hear back before our meeting tonight. We haven't heard yet, but I think it's been a good exercise. When you could tell when the engineers heard, no, this is the situation you're going to have to deal with, and we don't want to have our upper clay layer compromised by your development and by your excavations, and that that puts extra, how would I say, extra design emphasis on how you put in, the foundations, whether those penetrate into the lower sands and those kind of things. So it was a very good meeting, but we're just waiting on them now to kind of get back to us. Then the other thing coming up, I guess, we've got to continuing our work on the seepage work we're doing, and our first, what I would call our first domino of what's going to fall is going to happen in late August with this monitoring report we've been working on. Basically getting all the data in shape so that becomes the full basis for our design going forward, and also incorporated in our seepage report. So this monitoring report we're expecting to get out at the end of August. And then right now, following that, we'll have the O&M plan coming out in September. So this represents the beginning of that kind of domino of reports we're going to be going forward with. Another update, the FEMA LAMP work. We provided them comments and thought we would hear back a second set of comments. And we thought we would hear back from them by the end of June, but we haven't heard back yet. So as of yet, we've not heard anything. So nothing to report there. Yeah, I think that's probably about it. Any questions?
Thanks a lot, John. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Very good. I'll tell Luke I did a great job for him. So, all right. Take care.
I'll vouch for you, John.
Okay, good.
See ya.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to community athletics park. All I got on that is we
Paul,
had
did you want to talk any more about?
he covered it all.
Okay.
Yeah, he covers it all. All I wanted to bring up is we fixed a leak in the back of the property. The small pumps in the back that pump some of that water had a leak. I hired Ryan to get it fixed, and he took care of it. The bill was in the claims, so that's done.
How big a pipe was there, Paul?
8 or 10.
8, was it 8, 6-inch T, what was leaking, did they say?
Yeah, it had a coupling on it that was bolted, and they was really loose. They weren't tight at all. So then they took it off and they cleaned it all the way around real good, dug it all out, and they put it back on and tightened it, and it solved it.
Yep.
So that's what it was. We didn't have to replace that valve or anything. Next thing would be, let's go to the secretary.
The only thing I have is with the books being closed for June now, we're gonna start working on the budget process. We go like last year and the year before, we'll try to get the worksheet to the finance committee by the first week of August. August, we'll all have the budget worksheet. September will be our public meeting, and October will be the adoption meeting.
Is this the next Facebook post?
Yes.
Jared,
All right,
lobbyist update and election update.
you got it. So the lobbyists, they sent out a report to us, some of the big news in there, I'll just give you some of the hits. Diego Morales got fired. They're gonna get a Max Ayling, who's gonna be probably our new Secretary of State. Don't know what that's about. Our lobbyists also was hustling in the month of June. They talked to almost both of our senators here, a lot of the state reps. They talked to Aaron Halchin's office. They talked to Mike Braun. So they've been hustling, and basically they were just introducing, hey, we're representing the LCD. Other than that, there's really nothing that was relevant in the report. It was mostly about just the shakeup at the Secretary of State's office and also the IURC. That's the Utility Commission. I guess they fired him, got a new guy, so Mike Braun's been hustling. There was also a report, I guess we made more money this year for the state of Indiana, even with that gas cut tax and even with property taxes being a little screwy. They had like 7-8% greater income this year for some reason, which I guess less spending, I guess. I couldn't tell you. But even that's that. One thing with this lobbyist, the one thing I would like, to kind of segue into the elections, if I could, Chairman, Vice Chairman. what I would like to do, when we first talked about this, one of my concerns was that having the elections during the Christmas season is stupid. I think I've said that several times. Very hard to get the ballots out. People aren't around. It's just that, I mean, you guys have ran for office in these times, and it's, you know, it's hard to get your mailers out during that season and everything. So one thing I would like to ask is, our lobbyists to start talking to some of these people, see if we can get a more, allowing the local conservancy districts to choose their election date. So right now the statute says on November, whatever, I have to do this, on this date, I have to do this. I would like it to be more structured as we set our meeting, and then just like a trial date, you back it up. So you go 30 days before this, we do this, 60 days, you do this. So I would be willing to write something up for them, see if they could propose it. But like I said, I'd love to get our meeting moved, and I'd like to get our elections moved out of Christmas, just because of the issues with the mailers and stuff like that. So anyway, that's it. Any questions about the lobbyist update or anything?
I got one to add to that.
Sure.
They've been working pretty hard. They mentioned that they're gonna try to approach some of these people and get them to come down here and look at our, we've got one tour booked for August 26th.
Oh.
And the guy's name is Steve Bartell.
Okay.
Okay.
The head of Homeland Security, right? Isn't he?
Yes,
Uh,
what's that?
yeah, Homeland Committee Chairman and Indiana House of Veterans.
Pretty
What was
cool.
the date again, Paul?
August 26th, which is on a Wednesday.
Okay.
And if anybody, if we can do it, we could do, didn't I give a tour and then we met them and ate lunch with,
Yeah,
because I got a feeling we're gonna do
same thing.
the lobbyist and then they're gonna bring this fellow. And if you guys want that done, I can have Heather send out a message and maybe we could arrange that for some of the directors if you're interested. We can ask.
I think you probably need to check to see how long he's able to stay.
Well, that's what I mean. We can start some contact and see if it would be able to do that.
Sure.
I guess on to the election. So as you all know, we got an election coming, starting next month is where the election season starts. I start collecting my data from the auditor and start working through confirming that those people are actually in the district before we send out the mailers. So that starts August 1st. So I'll be contacting Connie. We have two people up. Dave's running and Greg's running. So it's a Lawrenceburg Greendale election, so it's a big one. Other than that, I really have no changes. I really feel very comfortable after the last 2 years with our current election rules. I think that we've had a pretty smooth transition. We've been Heather and me and of course Bill Schneider and been keeping pretty good stats of who's voting, how often. I didn't say that. Good stats on the who's voting. I was gonna say how often they've been voting. But even like I said, I think it's ran pretty smooth. I have no suggestions to change up what we're currently doing, except for the fact that talking to lobbyists, seeing if we can have some more flexibility moving our dates around as to the election itself. But
That wouldn't happen this year.
No.
Leave for the.
no, it
Yeah.
wouldn't even, it probably wouldn't even happen next year. It you know, it would be a process. And so I've talked to Garrett a couple times about some of the, you know, of course, that's one of the issues is that they're looking at in the State House, they're looking to make this an appointed position. They've looked at if they can do a general election through the regular election commission. They've looked at it, but they of course ran into the same thing we have, is if it's a freeholder election,
Yeah.
you know, how does a company get a ballot, right? So they kind of nixed that right away, but the appointment stuff, it still has legs. And so just so you know, there's very few conservancy districts in the states that actually run elections. Most of them are appointed, and the reason being is that, you know, it's hard to get people to run for these offices. And so I think what happened is a lot of those boards just got emptied, like no one was running. And so the commissioners ended up stepping in and appointing. So we, of course, don't want to go that. I think we have a very healthy election process in our town, so. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at. Any questions or anything else, like concerns going into the season or anything else like that?
Did Vance Mission, when they talked to these individuals that they listed here, did they mention that there were any concerns exhibited by any of them?
No.
Or was it
They,
more explaining what the hell we're doing?
I think that basically from what their meeting submission was, is that they just introduced themselves and made sure that these people know that they're representing us, the LCD. I don't think it was anything, pushing forward any narrative or anything else like that, or anything except, hello, we're representing the LCD. So they actually, met with a couple other lobbyists as well to make sure they knew. They didn't meet with any of it. I didn't see it on the list here of any, Taft Law. So they did talk to Taft Law, the lobbyists for Hollywood, which, as we know, is, pretty much Lawrenceburg lobbyists up there. So they've had some conversations with, some of our local people. But I don't think they've done anything beyond that time yet.
What about with this committee or something that Garrett Bascom was working on that you mentioned that they're doing something that it might have an effect on us?
They have not. Garrett Bascom is something that's, I can't remember, because Garrett Bascom is the junior representative. There's a senior representative that's also on that board. So, like I said, I think that would be part of my conversations, is that we need you to talk to Garrett Bascom and his, other attorney. Possibly I can help them get hooked up, make sure they're going over there. But just going there to talk about our elections and everything else like that, to help educate, because, I talked to Garrett about it, it's confusing. And so it'd be nice to have somebody advocate to show, this is how we do an election, these are the controls we put on this election, and this is why the LCD runs one of the fairest elections in the county, right? And this is how we do it. So, like I said, I think it would be neat to have somebody being our proponent up there with that committee that can go in every other day and just say, hey, where are you guys at on this? I don't see there was never a bill tendered from what I can see concerning the LCD, right? But they've been thinking about it. So, I think this is the time to get our lobbyists to see what, that to us is important, this election, right? I mean, that's how we're all sitting here. But in any event, I think that's a comment that we want them to go visit Garrett, we want them to go visit that other legislator.
So, and they know now that our application has been submitted and that they're looking at it and et cetera.
Absolutely. And I think go ahead.
We should send out an announcement to our lobbyists, let them know that we did make the deadline, because did you do that?
No, they sent in their email to us
Yeah.
today.
It's
They-
It's in there.
Okay, because I know I let you guys know, but I didn't know if we let them know or not.
Homeland Security notified lobbyists that
Oh, they know. Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, that's why that Bartles is coming down, he wants to look at it.
Okay.
It says in there.
I'd like, and I know Jimmy's, and I think you offered a tour to Bascom.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him, get interested and go on a tour too.
That's all I got. Nothing else, unless there's any other questions.
You doing the financial report?
No, James didn't reach out to me.
Finance Committee report, the quarterly financial report and reconciliation reports are in your packet.
Right.
If you have any questions, James is on the phone.
I'm here. I'd like to comment, why are the meetings so much shorter than David Cobb running than me?
I think we figured it out, we'll tell you later.
Remember that when you elect the next chair.
Yeah.
No, anybody got any
we'll move on to the personnel committee report then. You guys had, the handbooks in your last packet. Randy, did you want to talk about that at all?
I think
You're on
it-
there.
What we were asking everyone to do is just to, we didn't get any questions that I know of from Jim, so I think we just want to vote to
All right.
enact that tonight, so.
And I'll say one word. I looked it
Okay.
over. The handbook is absolutely sturdy as a legal document. So, like I said, I give it my approval, if that means anything.
All right, I'm looking for a motion to adopt both, employee handbooks then.
I'll make the motion.
Andy?
Do you have a second?
Second.
No? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion carries.
thank you.
And we don't have an audience, meeting adjourned.
You're fired, buddy.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
See ya.